Welcome in. It's Boston has entered the chat daily show where we take what you talk about in your group chats, bring it on the show live inside the Salem 5 studios. George Balekji, Lucy Burdge. We got a packed show for you guys today, talking the aftermath of the NBA Finals. New champs in the league, new champs hosting Larry O.B. We'll talk Giants, Red Sox as well, and got plenty more, including your voicemails. Lucy, how are we doing this morning? Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here, George. Really sad. The Celtics are no longer the reigning champs, so we have to move on. We have to move on from this, so we'll have to process that. But yeah, I'm doing great because the weather, George, can we just for a second? We finally had a Saturday that was not raining.
Some sun out, the heat wave not here yet.
Yep, exactly. The energy is already good.
Yeah, heat already on the Celtics, though, because this Oklahoma City team seems like they're going nowhere. We'll get into all that. Tyrese Halliburton, let's start there. Going down, looked like a torn Achilles. Nothing confirmed yet as of the recording of this episode this Monday morning. But we see Tyrese Halliburton go down. It was Game 7 in Oklahoma City. First time the Thunder can win an NBA championship, and they do. It was everything you wanted. The Pacers with their immaculate run. Every storyline you want from them with the Oklahoma City Thunder, homegrown team, SGA, the MVP, scoring champion of the regular season. Can they close it out at home? And like that, we see Tyrese Halliburton go down, was battling through a strained calf, goes down on the floor. Immediately, we knew it was something serious. OKC ends up winning 103-91. What did you make of that moment with Tyrese Halliburton, but also how we see these finals finally conclude, which was such an entertaining NBA Finals overall?
Yes, we did have the two best words in sports, Game 7,
Yep.
but it did take a turn with Halliburton. So I did want the Pacers to win. We had the storyline of the buses beforehand, where the championship buses for OKC were already being decorated and painted, so they were ready for their parade. Bulletin board material. So coming into this game, I thought perfect for the Pacers. Not that the same thing probably wasn't happening in the Pacers side of things, because you got to prepare, as we know, you have to prepare for a parade. We've seen a few. So it wasn't, that crazy, but Rick Carlisle did say, he's like, that's all I'm thinking about is those buses. So I was like, oh, for sure. This would be a great story. This is amazing. Boom, Halliburton goes down. And in that moment, you think that's it. It's over. So, and it was essentially. So it was too bad. But we did see a Game 7, and the Celtics were the reigning champions for as long as possible, because that series did go as long as possible.
Yep.
So that was it was tough to see with Halliburton.
Yeah, you see those buses before the game. You see Rick Carlisle saying, that's all I'm thinking about. And this was a Pacers team. Halliburton goes down. It was all SGA in the first half. And the Pacers were still up 1 at halftime. And you kept having that question in your head. If Halliburton was healthy, if he was in this game, what could happen here? What made that hurt was we saw a Pacers team playing a throwback style of basketball. It's all about team basketball. It's about ball movement, driven by Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam. And it was a selflessness. It was them defending their home floor, winning on the road. And for the run they had to go through to get to this point, a Final Four team last year, runners-up in the NBA this year, going through the Knicks with everything they did, making the Thunder seem human, which no one was able to do at any point in the season. Rick Carlisle, one of the best coaches in the NBA, but it is all respect to OKC as well. I mean, this is a team that got to Oklahoma City in 2016. People forget they were the Seattle Supersonics before all this. Then they obviously end that era of Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook. I'm sorry, they got to OKC in 2008 and the Westbrook KD era in 2016. Trade Paul George in 2019. That's where they get SJ and all these picks. And it took 6 years. It took tanking to get to this point. But this is a team with their first title. No one in their main court is older than 27 except Alex Caruso, and everyone's under contract for a team that's very young, very talented, still ascending. Jalen Williams and SGA, their two best players. A guy like Chet Holmgren, who wasn't healthy this season but stepped up in the finals when they needed it. This could be the first ring of 2, 3 over the next 6, 7 years, because how their money lines up, how their contracts line up, they still have all these draft assets too. This is a team that was ahead of the curve with the second apron coming down. This is now the new modern NBA model. It's what the Oklahoma City built. It's how they built this team around SGA. And what's scary, where all these Celtics fans, and myself included, repeat was on the mind. They ran through it last season, how good they are, how young the Celtics are as well. No one's going to take them down. Obviously, Tatum tears his Achilles. Jaylen Brown's coming off his partially torn meniscus where he got surgery for. But this is a team that's going to have to hit a hard reset, get the money off the books, and get back under the tax threshold, while OKC is ahead of the curve. See what happens with the Knicks, new head coach. We'll see what happens with the Celtics in a rebuild. Giannis in the Bucks. Kevin Durant's now in Houston. But for the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Kings of the West, the Kings of the NBA, I don't see them going anywhere soon.
Yeah, no, it's true. And I feel like if Halliburton didn't go down last night, this could be a different story today. We're like, oh, maybe the Pacers won the game, or they kept it closer, or like there isn't this clear, definite, like OKC is here to stay. The Pacers could have maybe won that game. So there are moments like Halliburton going down when you think, oh, the game is over, like Tatum going down when you realize, oh, that's it, repeat is off.
Yeah.
No parade this year. So it's moments like that that can change on a dime. So last night, that was stunning to see that happen. Same kind of thing with Tatum when he went down.
Mm-hmm. And we saw the tweets coming in too. You mentioned it, Celtics fans want to milk it for what it was. Saw the tweets coming through all line. Celtics no longer defending champions. This is from Mark D'Amico. Boston's reign as champs lasted literally as long as possible.
There you go.
Enjoy your final day at the top. Celtics Nation, you deserve it. That was it. I mean, you got to enjoy the reign. Then hear from Supreme. The Boston Celtics won't be defending champs after today. This was something that I felt the second we saw Tatum go down.
Yeah.
The series wasn't over at that point. Obviously, they pushed it a couple more games. But at that point, we knew what it was. And then Chekhov, final days NBA champs, Boston Celtics will be back. How soon? We will see. Because this is also the same day we saw a trade go down. Now Kevin Durant with the Houston Rockets. So Houston, in this trade, they get Kevin Durant, while the Phoenix Suns get Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, the 10th overall pick in the draft later this week, 5 second-round picks. This is a changing of the guard. KD now goes to Houston, a team with a good young core. But as always, we got the voicemails coming in. Here's our guy John from Dennis out on the Cape.
Hi, this is John and Dennis over out here on the Cape, and I was just calling in because I happened to see the Kevin Durant trade news, and I wanted to see if maybe you guys thought the Celtics should be in on a trade like that, or should have been in on a trade like that. I just, being a C's fan and whatnot for as long as I have, I want to see the team stay competitive. I don't want them to just tank for a year because Jason Tatum's probably out the entire season. So, just wanted to hear your guys' thoughts. Love the show. Thanks for taking the call.
Love that from our guy John from Dennis. Make sure to leave voicemail 617-790-0928. Also tweet at us using the hashtag NESSINChat. All right, what do you think? He's asking, should the Celtics have been in on KD? It also mentions, too, if the Celtics are tanking. What do you think?
Yeah, I do love that John from Dennis just happened upon this news. This Kevin
right.
Durant. It's like, it just crossed my timeline.
I like he sees the news and he calls us right away.
Yeah, he's like,
John, you're the man. You know where to come.
He thought of this show first, which really is an honor. Thank you to John from Dennis for that. No, I don't think that would have made sense. Like, what would they have given up? The second apron, so like that keeping under that. I don't think it would have made much sense to trade for Kevin Durant. Also, his age is something to consider as well. He's basically elderly at this point, George. So why would they trade for Kevin Durant? I don't think it would have made much sense for what they would have had to trade Jaylen Brown or something, or Drew Holiday and a bunch of other pieces. I don't think it would have made sense for them to do that. I think Zach Lowe was reporting on this from the jump, and he was saying that there was a possible 3-team trade involving Holiday and Durant, but then clarified that would have not meant Kevin Durant come to the Celtics. The Celtics were never interested, which I think was right, because that wouldn't have made sense.
If you bring in a Kevin Durant, it would be how long can he last? Because we've seen him go from team to team to team. But this is a guy that has a relationship with a Jaylen Brown, who I don't think would have been in this trade. The price of a Jalen Green and Dillon Brooks tells me that a Drew Holiday trade, like you said, to facilitate this could have happened. They don't have the draft assets. They do and they don't. This is a Phoenix team that needed, to your point, to get under a tax threshold. And this is a Boston team. That's what their priority is. With Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, both under the age of 29, when Tatum will be back from his torn Achilles, they're young. What does Kevin Durant do? Gives you a closer. He'll be 37 at the start of next season.
Old.
But he's one of the best scorers. He still gets it done. Great with the mid-range game. He fits in with Houston, who has a lot of young talent, a lot of offensive firepower, and a lot of good defense, and a relationship with the coach in Ime Udoka he has. Kevin Durant, though, everywhere he's been what he is, the Slim Reaper. But it's more of just leaving head coaches getting fired in his past and franchises decimated. Best thing the Celtics did was stay away from this. They have the long-term solution to getting back to contention. This Houston team needs a short-term solution, and that's what a Kevin Durant brings. If the Celtics traded for him, you're bringing a superstar, you're bringing a killer at the end of a game, you're bringing one of the best closers, but long-term, for what the Celtics need to do to continue to build around the Jays would not have made sense at all. And he brings up at the end, I don't want to see them tank. I don't think they tank. If Jaylen Brown's good, coming back from his meniscus surgery, this is still a play-in team at worst, top 4 seed in the East. maybe even a top 3 at best as well. It's going to be Cleveland. We'll see what happens with them. It's Giannis in the Bucks, it's the Knicks, and it's the Celtics still in the East. I'm happy KD's staying away from Boston.
I am too. And to John's point about tanking or not tanking, as you said, I don't think they're going to be tanking. I think they have enough talent around Jaylen Brown, and they had enough talent in the playoffs here to keep alive a little bit. But I think that will continue into next season, and I don't think it will be a tanking season. I think it will be anticipation of Jason Tatum returning, but not tanking completely.
Yeah, it's a team that is still in contention. When you have 2 athletic wings, like you do with the Jays, you have the leadership, and the contention for the East is still there because we don't know what's going to happen with the Knicks. We don't know what they keep with their structure. We don't know if Giannis even makes it with and stays with the Bucks past the trade deadline, let alone this summer. And the Cleveland Cavaliers, as we've seen, that's a team that can't figure their way out of his second round of the playoffs at most. The East is still open. I think this is a reset year for the Celtics. Their priority, again, get under the aprons with the new CBA coming down, be cost effective, and get more modern. In a way, it's following this Oklahoma City model because SGA is 27, will be 28. Jalen Williams is just there, 23, 24, will be 25. This is a team that won, Lucy. And Jalen Williams said he sipped alcohol for the first time. He's legally allowed to drink, and he's been there for quite some time. But these are a bunch of just young dudes, and they're locked in. It's more of the new age of athletes. Like, they don't go out clubbing, they don't go out partying, they stay in, play video games, and they're playing basketball, and that's it. But this is a team that didn't even know how to pop the champagne bottles in the locker room. That's what it is in this wave coming from Oklahoma City. They're young, they're really talented, and they're still getting better. So we'll see what they get to. Hey, we'll take a quick break here on Boston Has Entered the Chat. But make sure to get the latest up-to-date live Boston sports headlines, along with your daily dose of trending sports. Tune in to Boston Has Entered the Chat every Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 a.m. on Nessa, 9 to 10 a.m. on Nessa Nation. That's Boston Has Entered the Chat every Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. on Nessa and Nessa Nation, and catch all our episodes on YouTube. We'll be back with a look back at the Red Sox-Giants series and all that drama right after this break. Welcome back to Boston Has Entered the Chat. George Balekji, Lucy Burdge here with you guys. All right, the Red Sox dropped their weekend series against the Giants, winning Game 1 7-5 and losing 3-2 on Saturday, 9-5 on Sunday. Rafael Devers did hit his first home run as a San Francisco Giant on Saturday in that 3-2 win, had 2 RBI in that game. The 9-5 loss, we saw Lucas Giolito do his thing. Bullpen couldn't pull through. Bigger picture for the Red Sox, still above 500, still well in that wild card race. This is something where you don't want to see them drop any series. They need to continue to fight and create a cushion and get out of that third wild card spot and just be in the thick of it and also in their division race. You have to know and you have to assume they look forward to finally putting this week behind them. Rafael Devers' trade goes down last Sunday. We all know they were facing the Giants the following weekend. There are all the questions they had to face. Rafael Devers facing questions as well beyond his introductory presser. But now that's behind him, all the distractions that comes with it. They can move on. It's a series at Anaheim, and they're done with the Rafael Devers saga in Boston for now. We're still going to track how he does for San Fran. We're still going to track how the Giants do. And we're still going to track, of course, the Red Sox getting back to the postseason first time since 2021. But you know that clubhouse is looking forward to putting it all behind them.
Oh, 100% they are, because how awkward that must have been for that trade to happen while they are literally on the plane to fly out west, trading Devers to a team that they're just about to play. Like, they are flying there right now to start a road trip that includes playing the team that Devers now plays for. So this had to have been awkward. The anticipation, though, you could see that they were amped up to play the Giants, to play Devers. And you start to, as this series began, get kind of more context and more pieces started coming out about how players and the team and the front office really felt about Devers and about this situation. And I think it showed on the field. It showed in Alex Cora's face for a lot of the first game, where he was thrilled to beat Devers and to beat the Giants, even though they said, you know, we're just going to play the game. We are, you know, our team, we're professionals. We're going to just play the game. They wanted that win, and they got it. But not in the series, and I think that putting this behind them is going to be great. And I think the vibes and the energy have already started to shift, and the messaging to especially the younger players, I think, is changing, where it's not acceptable to say, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do what's best for the team. And that's what the front office in the press conference that that Craig Breslow and Sam Kennedy held, they emphasized that. And they said that we want to create a clubhouse atmosphere where bringing up the younger guys, saying we are a team. We put the team above the individual, and Devers wasn't doing that. This had to happen, and now they can just dust it off, move forward, get out of now Devers' new home region, new coast for Devers, and just move forward and forget about it, put it behind them, because that's really tough to do when you are literally facing the guy, when you are playing against him. And it did look weird at first. It did look kind of like a Savannah Bananas thing where like he's wearing a different uniform. That's really weird. And we can get over that, and that will fade, and they can move forward without Devers and without that and without that dark cloud around them. And I think they've started to do that. The messaging to what the players are saying really indicates that, where we are one team, we are a group of guys who's going to do what is best for the team. And Devers was bringing that down. And now Devers it's like comedy, George. This is like comedy where Devers is suddenly like, oh, I'm going to do what's best I'll play wherever. I'll play wherever for the Giants. I love San Francisco. I love them to give 100%.
Those guys are the ones in charge. I'll do whatever they want me to do.
So if you are his former teammate, if you are a Red Sox player seeing that, hearing that, you have to be so angry. And some good riddance
if you're
to
anyone
this
with
guy.
the Red Sox, if you're Craig Breslow, if you're Alex Cora, because he even had the quote too. He was like, I would say I put up good numbers in Boston. I think I do feel that I've earned some respect. If they would have asked me at the beginning of spring training, yes, I would have played. And he's talking about first base there. They did talk to him. They bring in Alex Bregman, who is a bat that protects him in the lineup, better defenseman, better defender at third base, upgrades his team overall for the same guy that demanded the front office go out and add, make the roster better around them. He said, hey, I like the lineup, but we need more pitching. We need more bats. And they go out and do that. For him to say this, look, he may not like how it went down with Alex Bregman. And look, if they're saying, hey, you're our third base, and there's reports coming out about Bregman, they go, no, those are false. And then he shows up, and all of a sudden, he's taking reps. I understand getting frustrated with that. The respect you earn is you want transparency, and you want them to loop you in. Hey, he's going to be first. All right, cool. He's going to be third. All right, cool. Where do you see me? First, DH? Let me prepare for that and go with the plan. Let me try and figure that out myself. I understand that. But for him to say that, if they asked me in spring training, they did. Going back to spring training, it was reported. They said, hey, still take reps at third. We want you to start taking reps at first. And he said no to that. And he pushed back. He pushed back against being a DH. They're ready to put it all behind them.
Yeah, he just wasn't happy here, I think, is what it boiled down to. And I'm happy here in that I think the messaging, he thought he was being treated unfairly. He thought he was being disrespected. And you think back to that initial spring training when media meeting, when he was talking to the media, and he just kept saying, like, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. And immediately following that, Alex Cora has to, with no preparation or like thinking about what he just said, have to go face the media and answer questions about what Devers just said. And I don't think Cora appreciated that, which he shouldn't. And he handled it like a pro. But I think Devers put him in a really tough spot. And from that moment, you thought this is not going to end super well if they can't smooth this over. And as the front office said, they used the word alignment, and we could not find alignment with Rafael Devers. And that's what it just boils down to, is they couldn't find a common ground on what the future would be for him or what the messaging would be or what he will be doing. And he just had to go. Like, it's just best to part ways at certain points. It's just best to part ways and start fresh. Each side start fresh, and that's what's happening here, and that's what will happen and continue to happen through the Angels series, through the rest of the season. It's just for the best in the end.
They're putting it behind them. They won 4 series coming into this weekend facing the Giants. They came off taking 2 or 3 against the Mariners, and they drop it. But that's the first time they've dropped a series in 5 straight. And that's including them sweeping the Yankees, taking 5 of their last 6, matching up with the team that leads the AL East as well. They have the pieces. It's again where we need to see the bats wake up. They win 7-5 to start the series. You think they're showing up. Then they lose 3-2. And they went back to their level. Lose 9-5. You just want to see that around 5 runs scored. What can they do at that point? But this is a team that the bats aren't consistent. The bullpen didn't get the job done, even though Lucas Giolito, again, gem after gem when he gets on the bump. And this is still a lineup that needs to figure itself out. Christian Campbell, option down to Worcester, and still taking reps at first base before the game. All right, David Hamilton goes to second. How does the rest of it look? Had a couple errors. We see Jaron Duran, Romy Gonzalez out there in shallow left field. Miscommunication happening, a ball dropping. We see Jaron Duran with his slumping bat in the month of June. .213 batting average, almost a .650 OPS. This is a lineup top to bottom that has to figure it out. This is a team overall that has to figure it out. But that's, again, I wanted to see them do it consistently, and they did. They did it against the Yankees. They've done it against the Mariners. They did it against the Rays. They were playing consistent winning baseball. I'm not going to overreact to one drop series, but again, it's the big picture as a complete team. What can they do? And in the month of June, still above 500, right in the wild card race, and just a week left this month. Then they get into July, and that approaches the trade deadline. That's when they have to make ground and give the front office a reason to buy.
Yeah, and I think if they had robot umpires, they might have won the game yesterday because that
a call on second.
Insane, George. I couldn't sleep last night.
It goes to review, and you can see.
What is the point?
That's the one.
What is the point of reviewing plays
if don't want to be wrong?
If
it's ego.
Exactly. And so he was so safe. If you just freeze frame that where his finger was on the bag and the glove was not on his hand, he was as safe as you can be. What's the point of replay then? So that made me very angry. So who knows how the series could have gone in the end. But it could have turned the whole thing around. So that's little things like that. If they can avoid those or unlucky breaks happening or, change their luck maybe around, then maybe they could have won more games throughout that series. But going forward, I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, it was 8-5 at that point, so say he's safe at second.
Who
that
knows
means
what could happen?
tying runs on deck, right? Jared Durant on second's what you want.
Yep.
A simple single, you put it deep enough in the outfield, he's scoring on that. I think back even to the Abraham Toro called out going off the base path as he was sprinting for home, literally leapt over the catcher's mitt. He didn't really move his line that he was running on. Like, he stayed within where he was, right on the edge of the grass and the infield dirt, and just made an athletic play. It's calls like that where that was a 2-1 game at that point, would have been tied at 2. Maybe that changes the whole thing. Still, that's Justin Wilson struggling on the bump. Greg Weisser doing as good as he can. The bullpen still needs additions because Chapman's been great whenever they call on him. Go back to the series opening strikeout on Rafael Devers.
Oh,
that's the big moment.
Amazing.
And gets a save, right? Yeah. And just steps up wherever they need him to pitch. He doesn't care if it's a save opportunity or not. Just do they need 3 big outs, and he goes out and does that for them. This is a team that, with the rotation, no Crochet in this series because he pitched right before, but he goes out and does his thing. Can they continue to make that happen? We see him do it. It's getting the stopper on the bump and Crochet. It's getting more from the rotation. Bayo and Giolito are still really good. And it's seeing the bullpen show up. That's where the Red Sox need to see their return, where dividends need to be paid at that point.
Absolutely. And going back to Devers for a second, David Ortiz has unleashed all of his communication with Rafael Devers.
Showing screenshots.
Showing he did everything he could to hold this guy together.
Second one, the paragraph.
Look how sad. Imagine leaving David Ortiz on red.
Couldn't be me.
Couldn't be me. Literally was about to just
me.
say that. Could not be me. Like, look at that. He's like, hey, look at the video call not answered. You get a video call from David Ortiz, you answer that call. That's where you know. The end. The end. Devers is gone once you see that because he is not communicating with David Ortiz, who's trying to help him. He is not accepting the help. He thought he was above it. He was done with it. So I don't know how, after seeing things like that, a Devers trade doesn't happen, or just unload him for nothing. So just take him, please. We'll leave him, just leave him on the West Coast. Hey, Devers, the plane leaves at this time, and then they leave earlier. Like, it's get out of here. Go.
We see as he's making his debut in San Fran, he's buddying up. He's right next to Barry Bonds, talking baseball with him.
He's so happy.
All right, how long until he leaves Barry Bonds on red? He's the greatest hitter to ever play the game. David Ortiz, most clutch playoff hitter in the history of baseball. Barry Bonds, the greatest hitter in the history of baseball. And that's likely David Ortiz not even reaching out, giving tips on hitting, just tips on, hey, man, this is how you navigate it. You're not paid. You're the face of the franchise, whether you want it or not. You're young. But these are the responsibilities that come with it. Even if you don't want to be a leader, this is what you have to do. It's just ongoing. We've seen the quotes from Ortiz. We've seen him publicly say that, it wasn't, and he said, too, he's like, it wasn't always perfect when I was in Boston. But you have to eventually mature and own up to what your role is. And then you see him showing the screenshots on Instagram Live. I mean, that's Ortiz saying, look, man, I'm not lying. This guy didn't want my help. Good luck in San Francisco. And that's what it feels like now in Boston. Good luck in San Francisco. If you're going to deny a legend of the game, not just the Boston Red Sox, but an absolute legend of baseball, a behemoth, a titan in David Ortiz, there's something where he could have been the next of a David Ortiz in a way, right? You'd have a lifetime contract with the ball club. You would have had streets named after you, statues built outside of Fenway. That wasn't important to him. That's fine. But at least what should be important is a game, and it just wasn't that to Rafael Devers, so it seems.
Yeah, there would have been Rafi Way, the Rafi Bridge, and now it's
whatever it could be.
Oh, Devers now. It's just so you leave David Ortiz on red, shows, I think, maturity is the word here, is lack of maturity on the part of Devers, where he did not handle this like an adult. And he was just like, no, silent treatment. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to respond. I'm not going to take advice from David Ortiz on this. And I'm not going to look at the bigger picture. I'm going to think about myself and think about myself right now because I'm paid a lot of money. And so I should be treated with respect and not think about the rest of the team. So I think Ortiz was also personally probably very hurt by this and disappointed. I think he's like a disappointed father in Devers.
Disappointed big brother and anything. You would just want to be a mentor. You go back to like what was going through your mind when the trade went down to now as more details come out. It makes more sense.
It makes complete sense because my initial thought was shock. To see that in writing is shock, but then thought this isn't the most shocking thing because when you think about the lead up to it and you think, oh, well, maybe they're just smoothing things over when you think back to comments that were made by Cora, by players, about Devers and like, oh yeah, everything's great, but it wasn't great. And having the conversations that Devers had throughout the season with ownership, with the front office, really now the picture is painted of what was really going on, and Devers was not communicating maturely is what seems like the case here. And so it just had to happen. Like the split had to happen. And I think the Red Sox win in this because Devers is not mature.
We'll see. And maybe he does, though. Like maybe eventually he gets to 30. Like he's still young when he was coming up. He came up through the system, was with this Red Sox team since he was about 14 years old, right? You get paid a lot of money. $311 million is handed to you when you're 26, 27. There's a lot of responsibility. And you never want to be a leader, and that's fine. But you still have to be a professional, especially when you're getting paid that way, and he wasn't. It's a long-term play for both the Red Sox and the Giants. How does Devers age as a DH? How does he age as a first baseman, as a player for the Giants? And does he eventually run his way out of town there? But also, what do the Red Sox do with the assets they got back, with the pitchers, with the young prospect in James Tibbs, who's a good right-handed bat, but also with this money? Does that mean a swing? Does it mean extending Roman Anthony and Marcelo Meyer, just like they did with a Christian Campbell, Brian Bayo, Ceddanne Rafaela? Does it mean extending those guys? And again, the long-term play. What does Kyle Harrison become? What does Jordan Hicks become for this team? What do they do with the money? And do the Red Sox get back to the postseason? They still are making that push. They're still above 500. They still need to buy in all the way, because it hasn't been since 2021 they've been in the playoffs. Way too long of a drought, especially being in Boston, let alone any city. This isn't Cincinnati. This isn't Minnesota. This isn't Pittsburgh. It's Boston. The Red Sox have to make that push. We'll see long-term who the winners are in this trade. But right now it's an addition by subtraction. Getting them out of the clubhouse, letting them focus on baseball. We'll turn the page to that Anaheim Angels series. We'll take another break here on Boston Has Entered the Chat. When we're back, what's trending around sports, including Drake May? Big day for him over the weekend. Welcome back to Boston Has Entered the Chat. George Balekji, Lucy Burdge back with you guys. All right, let's get into what's trending. As we always do, run through what's trending around sports in Boston and the world, but we're focused on Boston here. Let's start with a positive update. This is the news Celtics fans do want to hear. With the Oklahoma City Thunder now the NBA champions, Celtics no longer defending champs, but we'll be back to that contention soon. We saw this and heard this from Torrey Craig, member of the Celtics, on an interview with CLNS Celtics. Here from Noah Dalzell. Jason Tatum in, quote, good spirits as he rehabs at Auerbach Center. And as Torrey Craig said, he's always in with his trainer. Always try to lighten the mood up around him, not be too serious, make jokes, see him laugh, see him smile. You want to hear that? Jason Tatum, A, putting in the work to rehab and get back from his Achilles injury, but in good spirits. We know his dad put that 8-9 month timeline on it. I just want to see Jason Tatum back 100%. Take next season off. That's where I fall. Regardless of where you want to see him back, in there, taking the rehab serious, and you have to with an injury of this severity. And that's what you want to see from a Jason Tatum.
Oh, 100%. And absolutely take next season. Take as long as he needs because
take
the next 5 seasons off, Jason Tatum, because the last thing we need is for this to either happen again or something else to happen again where he aggravates anything. Heal completely. Just that he's in his healing era. So continue to do that for all of next season as long as it takes, because building for the future is very important. But these are very positive. It's not like, oh, he's had a setback. That's the last word you want to see involving Jason Tatum is setback. And this is the opposite. This is always with the trainer. As you said, taking this very seriously. He's laughing, he's smiling. We always want to see Jason Tatum laughing and smiling and joking around. So that's good, obviously. He's in good spirits. You see, Lamar Jackson sent him a jersey and signed it out, get back to 100%.
There you go.
So everyone is on board. Everyone is in his corner. The support, the rallying around him. The energy is good. The vibes are high. So these are very positive updates, which is what we need right now, obviously. So this is a really, really good timing for these updates, too. It's like, oh, they're not the defending world champs anymore. Oh, but Jason Tatum is coming back. So a lot of optimism.
Yeah.
And I think next season will all be about the energy of waiting for Jason Tatum to return, this is good. So continue this, and we'll be fine. Celtics will be fine.
You know, same thing we saw, like last night, Tyrese Halliburton going down.
Yes.
It's gotten to the point with the NBA where we all recognize a torn Achilles when you see it. Again, that hasn't been confirmed yet for him, but you literally see that rupture, and you see that run up his calf. And it's a non-contact for a Halliburton. We've seen it happen throughout this postseason with the Damian Lillard as well with the Bucks. Came back from that strained calf. For Jason Tatum, it wasn't a strained calf, but maybe it's battling through fatigue. A lot of basketball played, going back to last year's finals run, goes to the Olympics, does everything, plays so many minutes for this team, and does so much on both ends of the floor, along with the intensity we saw in that Knicks series for the Celtics, and it leads to his ruptured Achilles as well. And this is, as we're talking about it, Kevin Durant now landing with Houston. Again, that's the guy who started it in a way. Calf strain in 2019 with the Warriors, comes back in the postseason, tears his Achilles, takes over 2 seasons, and then returns eventually, that one being for the Nets. You want to hear these positive updates. It's what you expect to hear from a Torrey Craig. That's everything you want from a Jason Tatum. Again, where I fall in all of this, especially how next season is a team that, and an outlook for a franchise that will be hitting reset in a way. You want Jason Tatum back to 100%. I'm more optimistic in his recovery than I am for a Halliburton because Tyrese Halliburton relies on explosiveness in his first step. That's how he is such a special player. Jason Tatum doesn't rely on athleticism. He's so fundamentally sound, has great footwork, is such a technician. I don't think his game leaves him. For Halliburton, I'm interested to see how he recovers. Jason Tatum, take his time, be back, get back to contention. All right, to good news. Drake May and his wife, Ann, got married this past weekend. Didn't think I'd be talking about, like a wedding breakdown on a Monday morning. Yes, I feel like this is...
I'm so excited.
This is your main thing.
Gorgeous couple.
So they got married in North Carolina. Hey, man, congrats to him. Huge step. I mean, gets past his rookie season, gets engaged right after the season, and before his sophomore year in the NFL, gets married. Congrats to Drake May and Ann. This
is the summer of Drake May and the season, the year of Drake May going into next year, because look at this. They look like they couldn't be happier. This is the husband era for Drake May. They got married at the Grandfather Country Club in North Carolina. No details yet, George, on the dress. I'm waiting. I was looking to see if she tagged anybody in her photos.
What, if it's like a designer, boutique, whatever?
Exactly. Tag the dress, where she got that, the makeup artist, her hair. Nothing like that yet. But we will see.
So do like a little trickle out, like reveal.
Exactly. More photos to come. So yeah, that's what I want. I want more photos. A lot of people who were at the wedding were posting photos that she reposted. They are middle school sweethearts. They met when they were 12 years old, and now they are married. So I think Drake May, flying high right now, which is very good news for the Patriots. He has a confidence about him that he's, his husband strength now. He had fiance strength, now husband strength. He will have maybe dad strength down the road potentially. But yeah, a beautiful wedding. So this is big for Drake May, obviously, and they timed it correctly because you get engaged. They have 5 months to plan this wedding. 5 months to plan a wedding. If you've seen Father of the Bride, Franck, the wedding planner, they had like 9 months, I think, and he was like, not much. That's not much time. 5 months also not much time. If 9 months is not much time.
I'm amazed they were able to pull this off in that short of a time.
It's amazing. It looked beautiful.
I'm going to assume here. I'm not, trying to go stereotype. I assume Ann had it all handled.
I'm sure.
Drake May's like, hey, like the engagement's on him.
Yes.
Then he hands it over to Ann, right?
This looks like an Ann production.
I'm in the middle of the wedding planning process myself. I'm just a relief pitcher for my fiance. When she gets stressed, we need me to decide on. I don't have an opinion on either flowers. I'll go with A. She picks B anyway. I don't care. Just if I relieve the stress. Shout out to Ann getting this done. It didn't even dawn upon me. I felt like they got engaged last offseason. No, they got engaged this past January. Pull it off. Hey, and the timing is great. Get engaged. Do this now. Downtime of OTAs. Get back to training camp. Be focused. as everything shifts from wedding planning to now the Josh McDaniels playbook and picking that up, I think that's what Patriots fans want.
Yeah, you have Stephon Diggs making comparisons between Drake May and Josh Allen. So I think Drake May is he's on top of the world right now. He's a husband. He's got the ring now. Like, the ring holds a power that really, now he's like, I'm an adult now. I'm going to take charge of my
still young
family.
Yeah.
And like, I know that's the thing, is they're still so young. But my family, this team, everything, I am now. He probably has a new confidence about him that will bode, very well for the Patriots. Could this be the first of maybe 2 rings he gets?
What I'm excited for
Maybe
to
he wins
see,
the Super Bowl ring.
what will the honeymoon be?
Yep.
And is the iPad going with him? I assume it is.
Oh, definitely.
Say it's like Amalfi Coast. Let's throw that out there. A little bit, you wake up, have your espresso, and he goes over the playbook. Again,
film study.
Everything's about the playbook for me. All right, so, talking about going international, Antonio Brown has possibly fled the country following the warrant for his arrest. Yes, this is real. This is all real. We're still talking about Antonio Brown. You see the tweet from AB himself: I'm out the country, ain't no more child support, tell your mama, get a job. Just like, I've been over the AB thing. I am over it. And then you see this from Kevin Nilsson. My man, please donate your brain to science.
Yep.
We need that. I think we all know what it is.
It's definitely a haiku.
This is the best one. Is that a haiku? Hey, if it follows the syllables and it follows that order, I'm all for it. I'm over the AB experience, fled the country, do the right thing, come back, do that, pay the alimony, do all that, pay the child support, be a responsible adult. I'm just, I hope this is the last of it. We'll see if he actually returns and gets arrested. We'll be talking about it again. You can't make it up.
No, you can't make this up.
He was one of the greatest receivers I've ever seen play football. He was so talented, year after year. And a guy that came out of Central Michigan was a nobody and was so damn good. Now he's doing this. It's just...
Yeah, but do you expect anything less from a guy who took his jersey off and ran off the field in the middle of the game?
I don't expect this.
I
don't expect attempted murder and fleeing a country.
Here's the other thing.
You can take your jersey off anywhere. I don't expect this.
Okay, here's the other thing, though. Do we know for sure he fled the country? Or is this, he is teasing a new song he's releasing, and these are the lyrics to potentially, it doesn't
Yes,
rhyme.
I wouldn't rule that out.
He had, his song, Whole Lot of Money, kind of a bop. And so he's produced some fire music before. So maybe this is a song. He's not actually fled the country, or he has, and he's just writing about it's his lived experience, George.
If he is wanted for attempted murder and is fake fleeing the country but actually didn't, again, this guy is so moronic, I wouldn't put it past him.
George, this is a guy who Tom Brady let live in his home with him. He lived with his family, with his children, with their dogs, with Giselle. And then this guy posted horrible things about Giselle on Twitter.
Tom Brady took him back to Tampa, too. Took him in, got him a ring there. Him, Gronk, doing it all.
This is not going to end well.
Down to.
It's not going to end well.
Yeah,
this is bad.
And again, before all of this, I would have said it's not going to end well. It just continues to be at that point.
It's not going to end at all. This is insane.
Honestly, the best case scenario, again, it's attempted murder. Luckily, he didn't kill anybody. But best case scenario is this guy is held accountable for whatever happened and in some way seeks help. We've been wanting him to seek help for all this time, and he hasn't gotten it, whether he even wants to get it or not. Again, the sooner this is resolved, the better. It's just AB's not leaving the public eye, so it seems.
No, because he keeps tweeting, and he keeps, he just tweet after tweet.
Tweeting alone, he keeps attempted murder.
Attempted murder, okay, arrest him. Enough. Once attempted murder is where the line should be drawn. That is it. That's almost as bad as just arrest this person.
Or if you're going to flee the country, just delete Twitter, delete your phone. You have millions.
Geolocate him. Find him. What are we doing? This story the legs have run out of this story. The wheels have fallen off. I think we're done.
They keep finding spare legs somewhere.
Exactly.
We'll take another break here on Boston's End of the Chat. When we're back, we'll have plenty more from your voicemails. Voice of the fans, hear you coming up on Boston's End of the Chat. Make sure to get the latest up-to-date live Boston sports headlines along with your daily dose of trending sports and culture. You can get it right here on Boston's End of the Chat, 8 to 9 a.m. live every Monday through Friday on Nesson, 9 to 10 a.m. on Nesson Nation as well. That's Boston Has Entered the Chat. Wherever you get your content, also find full episodes on YouTube and listen to them on Spotify, Apple, Amazon Prime, wherever you get your podcasts as well. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back to Boston Has Entered the Chat. George Balekji, Lucy Burdge. We're going to get to the voicemails in just a second. Bruins tweeting out a teaser video we saw unveiling a new logo. Their yellow spoked B logo. You see the icon if you're watching on your screen. the new Twitter icon, the avatar on X, whatever you want to call it, for the Bees. That yellow spoked bee now in a long video. Narration was awesome. Editing on this was great. You see plenty of the black spoked bee. Now it looks like the yellow spoked bee. That's the big reveal for the Bruins in the upcoming season. Excited to see. They also, teased something yesterday, an announcement coming on June 25th. Maybe new sweater with the new logo. That's what I'm hoping for, Lucy.
Yeah, it's a brand new day. This is our lives have changed. It's a yellow spoked bee now. I mean, this is completely different. I mean, I don't even know what to make of it. I've never seen anything like this in my life. This is crazy. This is really exciting, and people are definitely not confused about the dates and the 25th versus today, which is the 23rd of June. And the colors and the new logo, they're powered by tradition, built by Boston, powered by tradition. I think it's a brand new day. I feel like a new person, George.
Right.
I feel like a completely different person now.
New logo, new me, right? Let's get to the voicemails. And what was perfect, too, we got one from our guy, Jeff from Brighton, and he was calling in about the Bruins. Check it out. Here's Jeff from Brighton.
Good morning, guys. I love the show. I just wanted to call in and ask what you thought about the Bruins sort of teasing that New Jersey on Twitter with David Pastrnak. I think the last time they did this, and Don Sweeney was there, and the rumor is he's going to be there on Wednesday when they unveil it. The last time they did this, Brad Marchand was there, and they unveiled that he was the captain of the team. So I'm thinking maybe this time around, is Pasta going to be unveiled as the captain with the New Jersey? I don't know.
I love that. I don't know at the end.
Interesting idea. Hey. He's asking us. He doesn't know.
This is what I love. By the way, call in 617-790-0928 to leave us voicemails. You can hear right there. We'll bring you guys on the show. We want you guys to join the conversation. I love Jeff from Brighton connecting the dots to us a little bit. It was in the video put out yesterday, teasing towards June 25th. You see right there on the screen, David Pastrnak giving a look into the camera before they drop that date. And you look again, see, that's with the black spoked bee. Video comes out today with the yellow spoked bee. The bee is literally yellow with black lining. A pasta there, New Jersey, connect the dots. A new captain needed in Boston.
Yep.
Could be Pastrnak.
Yep.
That is the bigger question beyond what does this mean with the logo. The bigger question is who will be wearing the C for the Bruins under the first year of Marco Sturm as head coach. Could be Pasta.
And what color will the C be on the jersey? I don't know.
Oh, man.
So the way that he did that, though, and also seeing the B difference now, that is massively different. I mean, our worlds are now different.
I can't tell. I'm looking at before and after. It's one of those things where you're looking for something.
Oh, yeah.
And you want to find something, so you think you found something, but nothing is there.
Yeah, like the lines are crisper, the outer circle is yellow now.
I don't know.
I think it's completely different. It's a whole, like, what team is this even, George? Like, it's the
Bruins,
different.
we know that.
So I think the way they did that video now, thinking about it, maybe he's picking up the New Jersey and looking at it, and maybe he's admiring the C on his jersey now that he's the captain. I think Jeff in Brighton had a really good point there, brings up a very interesting idea for the Bruins. If they had not thought of this, they probably should do that now and switch up their whole plan and be like, oh, we should just make him the captain. That's a great idea, Jeff in Brighton. I think maybe they'll do it now.
I love Jeff being the investigator on this one for us, connecting the dots. We'll get our board together. We'll have the red yarn connecting everything with all the images, the new logos, and we'll do that. All right, here's our next voicemail. This one's Nigel from Arizona.
Hi, it's Nigel Smith from Arizona. Huge Red Sox fan. About Devers, I think it was a great move. Unfortunately, we didn't get much in return, but you know what? It's a team sport. And, he's been lackadaisical. Yeah, he's a great hitter, but it's always about the team, not about an individual. And I think they made the right move. God bless them. But, when you can't even put your full legs into a run down first base, and I think we all know what I'm talking about. I mean, it just shows, man, he just didn't have that desire to me to be in Boston. So go Red Sox.
I think you put it perfect, and that's where it keeps coming back to, where he even had a quote this past weekend where I think I've played really well for this team when he was talking about the Red Sox. And he goes, I think I've earned the respect where if they asked me to play in spring training, I would have. And I think he was talking about the switch to first at that point. By the accounts and reports we hear, they did. They did approach him. Hey, now, he may not like how the Bregman stuff went down, but there's a point where they go to him. Bregman's going to play third. We want you to start taking reps at first. And reportedly, he said no to that and shot it down right away. And that was where the fracture began. But it's about the team. And it became a distraction in that clubhouse. His numbers were down the last 20, 25 games playing for the Red Sox. And obviously, Nigel, that one on voicemail, Nigel from Arizona talking about when he had that, what could have been an infield single. We see him busted out of the box and then pull up halfway through. Then has a groin injury that Cora said he didn't know about. There are so many layers to this. And when we talk about finally the Giants series is behind them, the Red Sox, we'll get a few more voicemails from Devers. They won't stop coming in. We'll be watching how he hits for San Fran and when he eventually plays first for them. But the Red Sox can put it behind him, and I think that's the important thing.
Oh, very important. Nigel brings up some great points. Did you see Cora's face after that when Devers did not run that out, did not hustle?
He was staring at him like
immediately. Like Cora's face does not lie, including the smirking, which was amazing in game 1 of this Giants series. But he looked at him like, what are you doing? What was that? And then after the game said it wasn't lack of hustle, just protecting him. I guess that's what the case was.
Yeah.
This was a massive distraction, and I think it's for the best, absolutely, that Devers is no longer on this team. And that's why this trade had to happen. It was like an emergency trade. Like, this guy needs to get off this team. The return, I would argue, Nigel said that it's not great. I would argue that it's more than it seems on paper, because what they got in return, better energy, better vibes, a better clubhouse atmosphere, which I think is worth more than even if they just said you can take Devers and maybe some cash in return, but for a better atmosphere so everybody can move forward from here and not have to worry about this anymore and not have to have this dark cloud of distraction around them. So I think the return actually was better than it seemed at first or on paper. But yes, I think that absolutely, it's hard to argue this didn't have to happen.
Yeah, and it's one where I think a lot of Red Sox fans understand it had to happen. I understand not loving the return, though, but Kyle Harrison, that's a guy removed from being one of the top left-handed pitching prospects. Obviously, Jordan Hicks is a proven major leaguer. We'll see what they can do when he's off the IL. If he gets with Andrew Bailey and can refine his footing as a pitcher, and maybe join that Lucas Giolito-esque track of recovery and then being a guy that can be consistent for them in whatever role he's in. But that was part of it. They unload the money. Now, what do you do with that? And that's why I keep going back to Craig Breslow said, not waving the white flag. We'll see what happens before the deadline. And we'll see what happens as they get into the next offseason. This is something where it's have to be a long-term play. How long is Devers worth that price tag for the Giants? And what do the Red Sox do now with $31 million annually off the books and all that money? Let's now get to our final voicemail on this one. Our guy, Paul, calling from home.
Hi, this is Paul. My question is, do they think that Roman Anthony could become the permanent first baseman?
Interesting question. This is a guy that played his bulk in the outfield. I think the answer they're looking for at first base, it could be someone at the trade deadline. I think it's still Christian Campbell that they're searching there. At 6'4" and a good athlete, he has a bat. And that's why he broke camp and came out of spring training on their opening day roster. That's why he got the extension. It's his athleticism. It's his profile. He's really young, but it's his bat. But that's a guy, I think, as you saw him taking reps and playing games at center field as well. Didn't look right at second, was green there. Played just over 30 games at Georgia Tech at second, just over 30 games in AAA with the Woo Sox at second as well. Now he's back in Worcester, option down there, taking reps at first before a game. I think they want him to work out there. Roman Anthony, to me, long-term, is either left or right field. Right field's the hardest spot at Fenway Park to play. I think the long-term play for him is left field and a DH for, again, a guy that profiles like Roman Anthony, just turned 21, and with his measurements, with his measurables and everything like that.
I agree. I think out of spite, they should have Christian Campbell play first because apparently Devers was very unhappy that he was taking from all the... I mean, that's the report. Cora didn't know about that, but so who knows? But I think Roman Anthony will play wherever the team needs him to and will do whatever is best for the team, and that would be his response should he be asked about that. But no, I think you're right. I think the outfield is his future. I think that's where he will be. Christian Campbell at first until, let's say, Casas comes back, if nothing happens to him before that.
Throughout his minor league career, just looking at it now, just to clarify too, never played anywhere but the outfield. Either played DH, and that's when he was dealing with an injury earlier this season, or played all over, primarily center field with the Red Sox in their farm system, but second most innings played at left field as well. I think long-term, that's where he ends up playing. All right, that's it for Boston Center Chat in this first hour here on NESN. Lucy Burdge, George Balekji. Make sure to always catch the first hour of Boston Center Chat, 8 to 9 a.m. on NESN, 9 to 10 a.m. on NESN Nation as well, and every day, Monday through Friday for 2 hours, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. NESN Nation and NESN, and always catch our episodes on YouTube as well, on NESN's YouTube page, and catch everything on Spotify, Apple, Amazon Prime as well. Full Red Sox, full Devers, full Roman Anthony. Boston is entering the chat, 3:10 to left, all across our NESN podcast. Catch it all there.